everyone, if f of x plus 1 divided by x equals x squared plus 1 divided by x squared, we're going to find f of 2 and find f of x. So the first one, the reason we're doing f of 2 is just to give you the format to do it. So basically for this one we want this to be 2. So we'll just set it to 2. We'll have x plus 1 divided by x equals 2. Now, when you cross multiply, you get x plus 1 equals 2x. Subtract the x from both sides so you get 1 equals x. So what I'm going to do is plug this 1 in all of these x's. Not the 2, but the 1. So I'm going to go f of 1 plus 1 divided by 1 equals 1 squared plus 1 divided by 1 squared. So this is going to be your f of 2, which is what we wanted, equals 1 plus 1, which equals 2. So when x is 1, we get f of 2 equals 2. Now, to find f of x, we're going to do the same thing. So for that, we want this to be x. So if we do it the same way, we get x plus 1 divided by x equals x. Now that's going to be confusing because we have too many x's. So for just a short while, I'm going to call that y instead. All right. Then we're going to change it back. So we're going to let x equal y. Now cross multiply and you get x plus 1 equals xy. We're going to solve for x, so subtract the x, just like you did with the previous problem. So x, y minus x. Factor out the x, get y minus 1. And then we're going to divide both sides by y minus 1. So 1 divided by y minus 1 equals x. Now we really don't want the y. So what I'm going to do is switch this y back to x. So we have x equals 1 divided by x minus 1. And that's what I'm going to plug in to every single one of these x's. Alright, now I'm going to do it for this first part here. And we should get f of x, because that was what we set it. This part's going to be a little messy. So let's start with just this first part. So we're going to do f of 1 divided by x minus 1 plus 1 divided by 1 divided by x minus 1. Now, let's clean up this numerator. So I'm going to have f 1 divided by x minus 1. Now, I want to have another x minus 1 here. So in order to get an x minus 1 here, I have to multiply this by x minus 1 as well. So it's just going to be x minus 1. And then we still have 1 divided by x minus 1. All right. Now, simplifying that, we're going to get the numerator is going to be f of 1 plus x minus 1 divided by 1 divided by x minus 1 divided by 1 divided by x minus 1. Now what happens here is these two cancel, and the 1 minus 1 is 0, so you're going to get f of x divided by 1, which is f of x. So that just means we did this part right. But now we know our x that we're going to substitute in to these two is going to be 1 divided by x minus 1. All right, so let's start that. We already did the first part. So we already know that this is going to be f of x, because we already substituted. And remember, our x is going to be 1 divided by x minus 1. So one way to do this is you can plug it in and work it that way. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. Make a little, it doesn't matter if you do what I'm doing, but for me it's a little easier. So I'm going to use my x squared divided by 1 plus 1 divided by x squared. Now I want my common denominator to be x squared, so I'm just going to multiply this denominator and the numerator by x squared. So that way I'm going to get f of x equals x to the fourth divided plus 1 divided by x squared. It's just a different way of rewriting this. You don't have to, you'd have to clean it up later. Now we're going to plug this in for these two x's here. So f of x equals 1 divided by x minus 1 to the fourth plus 1 divided by 1 divided by x minus 1, and this is squared. Okay, before we move on to the next slide, I'm going to rewrite this as 1, so I'll put it up here, f of x equals 1 to the fourth is just 1, divided by x minus 1 to the fourth. Okay, plus 1. And we're going to deal with this plus 1 in a minute. The denominator is going to be 1, because 1 squared is 1, divided by x minus 1 squared. Now, again, I want a x minus 1 to the fourth here, so I'm going to have to multiply this by x minus 1 to the fourth. So what you're going to get is f of x, let's use blue, f of x equals 1 plus x minus 1 to the fourth divided by x minus 1 to the fourth divided by 1 divided by x minus 1 squared. Now, let's go to the next one. So from there, you're going to have, let's see, we had 1, let me write it out again, 1 plus x minus 1 to the fourth divided by x minus 1 to the fourth, and we had divided by 1 divided by x minus 1 squared. So instead of doing that, I'm going to, remember in our fractions, we're going to keep, change, and flip. So I'm going to change this to times and flip this around. So this is going to be x minus 1 squared over 1. And what happens is this one goes into this 2 times. So finally we have 1 plus x minus 1 to the fourth divided by x minus 1 squared. And this is your f of x. Now the reason I put this up here is this is a binomial expansion to the fourth power, this part right here. We have a minus instead of a plus, so all you do is you just treat it like a plus, but when you have a minus, you just make every one of these, so it's going to be plus, minus, plus. This one's going to be minus, plus. In our case, our A is x and our B is 1. So all you have to do to expand this is we're going to write f of x equals 1 plus, now to expand this, this is going to be x to the fourth, and then we do minus, because we do plus, minus, plus, minus. I'm using my 1 first, minus 4x cubed plus 6x, we don't have to worry about the 1 because you're just multiplying by 1, squared, minus 4x plus 1. So all I did was expand, and I just, every other one of these pluses, I changed to negative. And our denominator is this, and I'll write that in a minute because I'm running out of room. So basically, to clean this up, I'm going to add those two up. So you get f of x equals x to the fourth minus 4x cubed plus 6x squared minus 4x. And then adding these two ones, you get plus 2. And then our denominator, if you expand that, that is going to be x squared minus 2x plus 1. I tried to simplify this to cross things out, but I couldn't. So this is your final answer here. And that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.